Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Left Leg Fight Club live stream. So, I'm your host for the evening. It's me, Daryl, or the Dids, as some of you might know me, and I'm going to talk about obviously what I refer to as getting my head out the stove. Just bear with me 2 seconds, please. Evening, it's me, Daryl, or the Dids, as some of you might know me. So, yeah, so this is a live stream, as I said. I'm just going to get back to it now. Just bear with me. Just having a few minor teething problems here. So, yeah, like I said, hi there. My name's Daryl. I'm your host for the evening on the Left Leg Fight Club. So, what I'm going to be talking about this evening is what I call getting my head out the stove. So, this is basically all to do with myself and how I've coped with getting through the the highs and the lows of being in hospital, and obviously what's been going on with myself and my leg, and obviously all the stuff outside of hospital, how I've managed to cope with it, how I've turned the L's into W's, how I've got through it all really. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's been a really interesting learning curve for me, if I'm quite honest with you. So, where do I start? So let's start at the beginning then. When I first got put into hospital, as some of you well know, I went in on the 11th of November, and I had an X-frame on my leg. Within the first 2 weeks of obviously being in hospital, it was really dramatic for me seeing this metalwork on the outside of my leg for 2 weeks and being let down quite a few number of times with operations. There was many a days that went past within the first 2 weeks where I would sit and cry for hours upon hours at a time. And then, it was just like a case of sitting there and speaking to nurses who would designate some time to myself, and sat there and listened to what I was saying to them really, and that's what it was. It was just a case of them sitting there and letting me explain to them what was going on with myself, and them sitting there and listening to me just basically cleared my head. Obviously, what was going on at that time, but that was an up and down sort of roller coaster for me, really. For the first 2 weeks, and then I had my operation. Then there was the dealing with the whole of the the fact that I potentially could have lost my leg, as I found out, was it was going to be quite a life changing experience for me, to be quite honest with you. When I found this out, and dealing with that was just one of the hardest things for me, really, to be told that I could potentially lose my leg. it was, yeah, it was fucking brutal to deal with mentally and physically, but not just for me, just for my partner as well, and my family, but more my partner. You know, and it was something that I didn't really talk about much, because just trying to find that way of dealing with it and that coping mechanism myself was difficult. But I got there. I got there, and you know, and it was only from like talking to yet again nurses, and the positivity from getting through it, which I managed to get together and hold together quite well with myself. So I kind of dealt with it in a way that I was same as just speaking with people and just trying to mentally, physically focus on different things and not that. But the main aim was to focus on getting my leg sorted. I knew it was going to happen, but it was just playing the waiting game on waiting for the operation and waiting for people to sort of, you know, support me and get through it. It was tough, but I basically did. Basically, I did manage to get through. For the first 2 weeks, it was tough, and then I had my operation, and the operation was a great success. But there still was this chance that I could lose my leg. So it all wasn't over. You know, the positivity which I had after the operation was still somewhat low, but I still had to try and remain focused and sorry about this. I still had to remain focused to try and maintain this mindset of positivity, to go forward and move forward in the mindset of knowing that this still could potentially happen at any point. But it just was something that I needed to block out, and trying to block that out, that was the difficulty. You know, but dealing with that was hard. It was really hard. But the way I dealt with it was with support from friends, phoning, you know, diversion tactics of dealing with what I believe to be was difficult. I mean, even just talking about it now, as you can probably tell some of you, it is difficult to talk about, but I feel that I need to do this to let everyone know that it's you can do it. You can deal with the uncertainties of life and what it throws at you, but you just have to have that focus, and you need to focus on something or look forward to something to move forward, and that's what I did every day. But there was always a challenge for a number of weeks. Well, it wasn't a number of weeks, it was a number of months actually. There was always a challenge thrown every single day into this moving forward. You know, the first stint, 27 days in hospital, you know, that was fucking tough, but I got through it. I got through it with, yeah, again, with the support from friends and speaking to people and speaking to nurses, and you know, and just moving forward day by day, little by little, knowing that it was going to come good in the end. And then I got out, and I thought, great, this is it. You know, I sort of thought, well, this was like the start of the journey for me to move forward. But then, come 12 days after, it was back in the hospital with the infection, and everything was knocked back again, which was an even bigger kick in the bollocks, really, for myself. And yet again, just the emotional and mental head fuck of it all was just crazy. You know, my head was even put further back into the stove, and it was just cooking and cooking and cooking away, and I just couldn't get my head out of there. It was unbelievable. I just couldn't deal with it. You know, and it was like when I was out for those 12 days, I was having nightmares and sleepless nights and waking up in the night crying, and you know, and having to deal with that, and even my partner, you know, having to deal with that. It was not good, but I knew that I still had to remain and keep this focus with myself of where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do. But it was still lingering away in my head, and I basically stayed headstrong. And yet again, you know, it was just from the support of friends. So then I went back into hospital, and that was it. It was just like Christmas, New Year, I was in there, and I was even at more of risk of losing my leg then because of the infection, because the surgeons just didn't know what route to go down, because normally the way that it works is that they would have to remove the metal work out my leg to get rid of the infection, but they couldn't do that because the nature of the break was my leg being so fucked that they just needed to keep it in there and fight it from the outside in with antibiotics, strong antibiotics. And I had to put my faith in the hospital and everything else, and that's what I did. That was my focus. That was my point of knowing that I could focus on them making me better. And even still then, it was like, there was the days where I was crying. There was the days where I just didn't want to do anything and just beat myself up, and it was difficult yet again over Christmas. Christmas was just not Christmas for me, and I don't think it ever will be the same again. But then when I seen the numbers of the infections come down, that's when I seen that what my surgical team were doing was they was fighting with me. They had the battle with me. And this leads me on to believe that you can do this. You know, if you want something and your head is in that bad a place, the only way you're going to win the fight is if you basically fight that battle. You need to fight that battle for yourself and for the people around you that you want to be with, and get the people around you involved in fighting the battle with you, whether it be friends, family, your partner. They will support you. That's the support I had from my network around me, that they will basically fight your battle and they will support you. That's what I had. But when I was in hospital over Christmas, there was this one day when I just woke up and I thought, right, this is it. I can't carry on like this. I've got to basically win this battle. And from that point on, I just fought and fought and fought the battle. And I thought, this is not gonna get the better of me. And It didn't. I kept fighting the battle, and my friends were fighting with me. My partner was fighting with me. Some of my family were fighting with me. The surgeons were fighting with me. They was all on my side. The hospital were fighting with me. The nurses, they was all on my side, fighting my battle. But you need to basically face your own demons, and you need to face that battle. But only you can be the successor of your own battle, and you can only be the successor of winning that fight. And I'd done it. I got released from hospital on the 4th of January. I had home hospital put in place. By the second release that, I had 43 days in hospital, which was 6 weeks, basically just over 6 weeks and 1 day. Came home, I was a lot fresher. I was a lot better in myself. I had a better mindset. You know, I was in better health. I was beaming. From that day on, when I got on release on the 4th of January, I was still there. But still with the thing in place that I could still possibly, I lost my leg, but the chances were not as high, nowhere near as high. You know, IV antibiotics every day for 7 weeks. It was fighting the battle, but it basically didn't help my immune system, but it was fighting the battle. And the amount of tablets I was on every day, but they was fighting with me, you know. But then I had this focus, and the focus was that I wanted to do something this year. I wanted to do a couple of things this year about keeping something focused. And I did. And one of the things I'm not going to mention, because it's not happening now this year, and I can't mention it because it's too personal. But some of you who know, you know, and we'll leave it at that. But it's something to do with my partner, and we've already discussed that's going to happen next year. But the other focus was that, for people that know me, I'm a keen mountain biker, very keen, and I'm a very outdoor person. And obviously, I'm not going to be able to do that with only one leg. Well, I could have done with adaptions, you know, to obviously my bicycle, through the people that basically I bought my bicycle off. They could have made adaptions. We spoke about that, which I was prepared to do. But also, I wanted to get back on a bike and be able to ride again, which is my focus. I wanted to be back doing my job, which I love doing, you know. For those who don't know, you know, I'm a support worker for homeless. You know, I want to basically go back to my job and be able to make a success of that, and a career and everything else, which you know is what I want to do because I love it. That was one of my other focuses. But I could make this work, and it was working. You know, people were coming around my house, you know, day in, day out, while I've been off work, and it's still happening now. I'm still under, you know, and it's still going on. And then, but yeah, it's taken its toll. It's taken its toll on me. I still have the odd day where I basically, you know, do feel down myself. I'm not going to lie, but I know how to basically get out and win the battle now, and win this fight. I mean, last weekend I had 2 days where I didn't even speak to my missus, because my head was in this stove again. But I know how to pull my head out, and I pulled it out on the Sunday for the first time. And I basically decided I'm going to go and sit in my car, and I drove it around the block. And I hadn't basically been behind the driving wheel of my car for 4 months. And I got in there, and I achieved something. So I won that battle. And it was only through me getting that positivity, getting that confidence, and fighting and winning that battle again that I succeeded and done it. So I did it. You know, I did it with my partner. My partner supported me. She was in the car with me. So I did it with my partner. And then I told my friends. And my friends were all like really supportive doing it. So what I found is that, you know, if you've got good people around you, I know I've emphasized this and I know that I've repeated myself probably a few too many times and probably might sound like a broken record, but believe me, this is how that I've managed to do it. And this is how I've managed to cope. But it works. It does work by talking to people. But if you are going to talk to people that you want to get support from when you're down or when you're not feeling great, or you want someone to give you support to get your head out of the stove, as I keep saying, or give you that kick up the arse to basically give you a bit of motivation, then go to them people. You know, they are my network of people now. I can count on probably one hand, and they are all incredible people. They really are. You know, I don't need to name them. They know who they are. You know, I mean, I know there's only a couple of people watching tonight, but even them people watching, it shows that they show an interest. And I probably know two of them or three of them, but well, there is only three of them, as it says now on the screen. But it's like these people will give you the support you need. I mean, I've got people who phone me up every day who still now give me support and give me positive vibes. And if they just speak to me for a couple of minutes a day, then it's just them being nice and just, you know, they ask about how you are. They ask how I am, and they sit there and listen and have a bit of banter with them. And like it just takes the things away from if you're feeling like shit and you just have the 5 minutes of them, and you basically it just re-sparks like something going on in my head. I mean, I know I'm not the normalest of people, you know, I'm far from the fucking normalest of people, but I've learned a lot over the past 4 months in respect of like who I know that I can go to and who my friends really are. But and I do know that my network of friends is very small, but I do know a lot of people. But what I call friends are the people that are really close to me. They're closer than my family, and some of them I've known. The ones that I do know, some of them I've known like 20 years, 25 years. I mean, there's one guy who I specifically know. I've only known him 4 years, and he's an absolute fucking legend. You know, I'm not going to say who it is, but it will all come to light in a couple of days' time. You know, but just have these people around you and make sure you keep hold of them, because these people are precious. You know, you don't have to give them money. You don't have to basically buy them. Just be yourself with them and they will be themselves with you. But just trust them and support them, and they will listen. They will listen to you and they will give you great support. Because it's worked for me. It really has. And I can't thank them enough. But going back to like what I said about obviously getting my head out the stove and all this sort of stuff. It's like I got discharged from my home hospital team on the 3rd of February, which I was very pleased about, because obviously the infections were at a level where I could actually be discharged from the hospital, which was good. It was another positive for me. It was, and I look at the hospital as the gift that keeps on giving. And I know that probably sounds a bit crazy for a fucking hospital, because some people go out of there and they come out worse than what they go in. But I've just had an absolute real good fortunate time with the hospital. I'm not going to deny it. You know, the way they've treated me and all they've done for me has been absolutely fucking incredible. And it's just such a shame that the government doesn't give the people in the hospital what they're worth. It's I'm not going to get political because it is absolute fucking bullshit, but If I could, I would, but I can't. But they've worked wonders for me. I mean, my infections rates to date, basically my infection rates to date is down from 290 to 4, and it's been down below the number 4 for like about nearly a month now. And that's just through looking after myself and everything else. My physio is going well, which I'm really pleased about. I also, you know, when I first was doing my physio, I was only getting a 30-degree bend on my leg, and I'm now getting just over 80-degree bend in my knee, which has been tough for the physio. It's been really tough, but you just have to keep fighting that battle. I can't emphasize this enough to you. If you want it, you will get it, but you've got to put what you put into it, get out of it. And I've worked fucking hard to get to where I get to. I'm doing physio like 3, 4, 5 hours a day. I'm walking around as well as much as I can. You know, I'm fighting the pain. And yet again, you know, like I say, I'm fighting the battle. I'm winning the battle. You know, but don't ever let it get hold of you, because if it does, and you let it drag you down, to get your head back out of that stove and to start winning that battle again, it's tough. But you need to be strong, not physically, just mentally, and also let the people around you have your back. So that's my advice. I'm not medically qualified to basically say what I'm saying is true, but it works for me. It works for me, and it has worked for me every single time. So I know I've been rabbiting on a bit for half an hour, nearly, but I will say this to you. Where I'm at now is one of the bestest places I've ever been in my life. You know, mentally, yes. Physically, probably not the greatest place, because obviously, look, my legs are a bit fucked, but I'm getting there. But what I will say is that it's going to take time. There's no denying that. But time is of the essence. You know, I've been off work for 16 weeks now. It'll be 4 months, sorry, not 4 weeks, 4 months. 4 months this Friday coming. I'm still fighting the battle, but I'm winning it. So I've turned all my L's into W's. So I've turned all the losses into wins, which has been good, you know. And there's no denying that, you know. And I've got a bit, but yeah, it's good. But what I will share with you is that I had an appointment today with my surgeon, and I basically came out of that. I was in that appointment for 3 hours. I had my leg x-rayed, because the last 2 x-rays didn't notice a significant difference in the healing within the x-rays. And some of you have seen the x-rays, you know, the x-ray pics, and seen the inside of my leg. I mean, I will share that on another feed. I'm not going to share that tonight, because I don't think that's sort of like part of what's what. I mean, if any of the guys in the chat want to see the x-ray pics, I can show you now what I can show you basically what it looks like from the inside. I mean, all I can, like I said to you before in one of the live videos of one of my past posts, I said before, the only way I can describe it, it looks like a jar on your dad's or granddad's shelf, a jam jar full of fucking nails, to be quite honest with you. But it's worked. So what I would like to share with you is that this information here is that today I went to see my surgeon, and I've had some absolutely fantastic news today. I'm absolutely fucking buzzing. I really am. I'm absolutely so happy. So I went to see my surgeon, and his name is Brian Reamer. He's a knee specialist and hip specialist at UHCW Coventry. He's been doing knee ops and hip replacements for 11 years. And he actually said to me the last time, and he said it again today, that in the 11 years he's been practicing, he's never seen a case as bad as mine in the 11 years as how damaged my knee was. And he repaired it the best that he could. And today he said to me, when I went in there and seen him, he was absolutely shocked. And he said that he could not believe that the x-rays today have showed progress of healing, the fibs healing. It's also showed that the pins are still holding up, which is good. He's also stated that he's happy with the 80-degree bend, because he never would have thought 14 weeks ago that I would have been able to move my leg and have the range of movement in my leg as what I've got, which he's happy about. And I'm also happy about. And he did say it's still going to be a bit of a long road moving forward, but we've still got plenty of time, and he's hoping that things will get better. And he said, whatever you're doing, Daryl, just keep on doing, because you are winning the battle. And when he said that, I just thought, you know, something, I'm doing something right here. He said, he asked me what I was doing, so I told him about the physio, and I told him about all the stuff that was going on with, like, you know, both with myself, mentally, physically. And he said, whatever you're doing, Daryl, he goes, you're doing the right thing, and he goes, it's paying dividends and it's working. And he goes, you know, I want to congratulate you on that. And he gave me a very firm handshake, and he goes, and in the 11 years, I've never seen anyone fight as much as what you're doing and have as much as success as what you have. Because he actually stated that when he's done knee replacements, he's only had people get sort of 70, 80-degree bend and not even, you know, have as much fighting spirit as what I have. And he was really happy with that. And he said that my case has been one of the best cases he's ever worked on in 11 years. And I was just really, really happy to come out of that appointment today. I was absolutely fucking buzzing. So, and I thought, on top of this, I'm going to basically go and fight one of my demons today, which was a big thing for me, that I actually went back to the place where I actually fell and damaged my leg. And I looked around and I walked over to it on my crutches. I got out my car, parked my car, walked over to it. And yeah, it was, I succeeded in doing it. I fought the demons, and I've got closure on that now, physically, in my own head and mentally in my head. I've got closure on that now, and that's that avenue now closed, and I'm really pleased with that. I've made a massive accomplishment today by doing that. That basically those demons are now left me, and I can just focus on where I want to go and what I want to do with my life and move forward and go on this journey with everyone who wants to go round and go with me on this journey. I know this is obviously a bit sort of like all over the place where I am, but it's took a lot of effort to do this tonight, but I'm quite happy with the way that I'm doing it. I mean, you know, if there's any people that want to ask any questions, put it in the comments. Please feel free to ask. But I've done it. I've succeeded. Also, what I will do is I'm going to do a reveal as well of a couple of designs which I've basically got for my merch line, which I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on doing like some t-shirts or some stickers or something like that. So I've had a couple of designs done, which I'm willing to share with you. It's going to be sort of like I'm going to set up something. I'm in talks with a couple of different people that have obviously done like this sort of thing before. It's not sort of familiar to me. Obviously, this sort of like merch line thing. I did try and do something a couple of years ago, and it just went completely tits up. But I'm doing it now with I'm working with a couple of different people who know what they're doing, so that's good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically show you one of my designs, and I will basically flash this up in some of the other stuff what I'm moving forward for those people who follow the channel and might not be watching this now. So This is basically a design from one of my tattooists, a girl called Helen Brown, who has tattooed me for a number of years. She works at a studio in Birmingham called Gung Ho. It's a little studio in Moseley. She's predominantly done quite a lot of tattoo work on me. So this is basically what is going to be one of the designs for a sticker or a t-shirt. This is the first design. So as you can see, this is the first design, which I think is fucking awesome. I'm going to put this on a, this is going to be on a, this is going to be like, I think this is going to be on the back of a t-shirt, I think. And then on the front have like LLFC, abbreviations on the front chest area. So that's the first design. And that's by Helen Brown from Gung Ho Tattoo in Birmingham. Now the second design is by another tattoo artist, which I know, a guy called Nick Baldwin. He works in a studio called Boulders Brass in Liverpool. He's done this design. Now I think this would look cool on the front of a t-shirt. Really, I think this is just a standalone image because this one is just completely insane. And he works in Liverpool. He's also tattooed me. So that's the other one. I do have another two tattoo artists that are going to be doing another two designs for me. I will keep these designs and I will show them in some other stuff moving forward, but this is fucking super cool. They're both really good designs. They're both really, really good tattoo artists. And I would say that if you do want some sort of good tattoo work done, then I would highly recommend going and seeing these two people, depending on where you're located in the country. But like I said, so this is by Nick Baldwin. He's at Boulders Brass Tattoo in Liverpool. And the first design was by Helen Brown in Birmingham, Gung Ho. So really, I just want to just say to you all, thanks for, for giving me your support and, supporting the channel. And, I want to try and make something of this moving forward. I mean, I know it's still early days and it's going to be a long time moving it all forward. But then again, so is getting my leg back to 100% what it was. But it is going to happen, and it is happening every day. So yeah, it's really good. But it's going moving forward, and it's been life changing for me, definitely. But what I have learned from this is that you've just got to keep fighting that fucking battle, and that's what I'm doing. I've like I said, I've managed to basically close one of the biggest sort of demons that was haunting me today, and basically, put them last few nails in the coffin, as I say. So that was a big thing for me today. That was massive that I went back to that place today because I needed to just go back there and just do it, and I've done it. So yeah, it was good. But what I would say is I'd also like to thank one other person because without their help, I wouldn't have been able to do this tonight, really. We've setting everything up over the past sort of month. I've had a sort of like quite a lot of help from a good friend of mine with doing setting all this up and doing a lot of stuff in the background with me, like tutorial stuff with YouTube. There's a couple of people that I'd like to mention, really. One of them being my friend Vinny over at the Disclosure Team. He's put in a lot of hours with me, putting up with me, phoning him and going fucking crazy down the phone, asking about all the stuff like to get this all set up. So yeah, he's got a YouTube page, which is quite fascinating. Disclosure Team, go and give him a watch, give him a subscribe and a follow. He's got some quite interesting content. If you're into like UFOs and stuff like that, but he's helped and supported me through setting this all up tonight. Also, I've had some great support from Graham and tutorials like how to sort of approach things and stuff like that. A guy called Graham Foot. But yeah, and there's also the support from some close friends, and obviously support from my partner, Amanda, and everything else. I think on that note, really, I've just pretty much covered it all. I mean, if there's something what I haven't covered, then I don't know. I don't know what more to say really, other than what I've said. But all I will say is that for the people that I watched tonight, thank you so much for your support. I know this has been sort of quite a hard thing for me to deal with and get going, but we've done it. So yet again, thanks for all your support. Obviously, there's a few people in the comments, you know. So yeah, thanks T Nolte, Diane Gash, Disclosure Team. So yeah, thanks for obviously a few comments there. I know I haven't replied, but I didn't sort of want to sort of divert too much away from it. But it's all support. I know there's obviously not a great following, but if you want to sort of see this video and see some different bits and pieces up and come in, then you know, do the usual thing, tick on the boxes, the likes, the comments, the subscribe button, the notifications, turn it on, and whatever else. I don't know, do whatever you need to do to obviously get updates of what's up and coming. I have got a live stream coming up which will be quite good on Wednesday, so that's going to be quite good with a guy called Graham Foot, bicycle lover. That's going to be quite entertaining. All I'm going to say is like I say in my videos, thank you everyone for watching. Really appreciate all your support, and yeah, cheers guys. As I say always, ta-ta for now, peace out, big love, and this is the Left Leg Fight Club, over and out. Ta-ta for now. See you soon.